Yeah, digitalization is a big topic. Let's say it's probably the word of the year combined with Industry 4.0. I mean, Industry 4.0 is, let's say, one initiative in this direction. Industry 4.0 comes actually from Germany. It's a German initiative to introduce digitalization further in the industry sector or industry area. So there are other initiatives in other countries, like France, I forgot the name, I think Industrie or something like this. I do not speak French, actually. And also something in China, something in the US. So Industry 4.0, people are talking about this, is actually a very much German initiative, but certainly embedded in a European setting. So I do not talk about Industry 4.0, I talk more about digitalization, and I would like this picture a bit. So that is in Rome. I was in Rome actually yesterday. I came from Rome, but I did not go there actually. That is Peter and Paul Cathedral, and if you see here, the Pope Benedict XVI was announced on 19th of April 2005. So people are waiting for the announcement, and let's say in front of Peter and Paul Cathedral there. And if you see, let's say, the announcement of the next Pope, so that is then Pope Franciscus the 16th. I've been wondering what's the 16th. We have to check. On 13th of March of 2013. So that is 8 years later. What is the difference here? I think difference is very easy. Everybody has a smartphone already. Everybody has a smartphone, an iPad or something like this, and trying to catch a picture. So that is how things are changing. Yeah? That is how to understand how things are changing. And if you look here, for example, all the nice services we are known, let's say, from childhood, the bookstore, for example. I really like to go to bookstores in former days. When I went to university, I went to bookstores, but recently I was in Berlin where I did my master in computer science, but no bookstore anymore. So there's no need to have a bookstore where you just go. You probably can find a shop where you can buy old books, which are then, I don't know, 100 years old or 50 years old, something like this. But nowadays, learning books from university, you don't find them. You go to the internet and download them. Also, all the other books you can download. Probably you do not need actually to go to a shop and look at books. I like it very much actually. For example, also libraries. I like to go to library when I was, I don't know, 12, 13, and I was reading a lot. And then every Friday going to the library in the city center and then sitting there for a couple of hours, and also stack of books, going home with a stack of books and then read the books. And but nowadays everything is different. So from bookstore to ebook, the same as, let's say, a record shop in former days. How's it called? Plus Tinky in Russian. So who has something like this at home nowadays? I have some at home, but I do not have a device to listen to them. So I just keep them as tradition, but in former days also it was very nice to go to something like this. Or if you think about taxi rides, then you use probably Uber, get it, Yandex nowadays. Yandex actually, I think, bought Uber or joined with Uber as majority in Russia. So Yandex, you probably just order taxi. And interesting, let's say the cars are not owned actually then by Yandex. These are cars, let's say, sometimes owned by other people. And they are just forming a company providing rides under the roof of Yandex or other companies. So that is more ride sharing. It's not, let's say, that there's a company who owns a taxi. Same goes, let's say, Yellow Pages here. I mean, you do not go to Yellow Pages and look where is a shop I have to go to. You order this in the internet and that's it. So things changed a lot, and that is certainly everything, let's say, due to, let's say, availability of networks, availability of shared data, and that means availability of internet and availability of cloud computing anywhere. And if you look, we saw this, let's say, the wave of digitalization in the area probably of let's say, privacy, or let's say a private environment. The same goes certainly also in the area of industries. Industry is usually quite conservative, and if you look at industries, let's say, if you look at the so-called industrial revolutions, and now it comes actually to fourth industrial revolution, which is Industry 4.0. If you look at this, let's say, end of 18th century, that is what you call probably the first revolution in the industries, and that was introduction of mechanical industrial equipment with use of water and steam power. That was the start. I think Watson was inventing the steam engine, or using steam. Yeah, using steam, and that is clear, that started then. If you look then at, I don't know, second wave and interesting, mechanical weaving loom. So that was also an important step. And therefore, let's say, mechanics introduced there, and then all these people who did handwork were suddenly out of job. So that means also the job profiles change. Not only the technology is introduced, but also the job profiles change. And the same as with Industrial Revolution second part then. So that is here, if you look at the introduction of mass production based on electrically powered manufacturing. And there's certainly where Siemens is, because everything started with electricity. That is clear, that's us. And then, if you look into the 70s, IT is introduced. So that means probably CNC machines, that means computer programmable manufacturing machines that started then in the 70s. And again, Siemens with Simatic, we are certainly on top here. And if you look in 2030, and therefore you understand already nowadays is 2017, and we speak about 2030, that means there's still a time to go until you see everything what you nowadays see easily on slides. But if you really see it working in the factory, on the shop floor, you will see that takes time. And that is what we call digitalization in industries. So that is very important to understand. And industry is usually very conservative. So things we use privately, we use at home, we use in the communication with friends. In industry, still takes some time. Certainly the requirements are also different. Certainly availability is important, and that is also reliable. So if we look then at Siemens, Siemens, here we have here Werner from Siemens, and it started with telecommunications, but I do not go into this. But then everything, electrification, dynamo was certainly a very important step here. And then if what I told then, Simatic started already end of the 50s, but that was then mechanical to some point, electrical, based on transistors. If you remember, transistor was probably invented. Who was it? I think Schottky and two people. One was Schottky, and it was invented in 1955. Something like this. Yeah. 1955 might be, it was only Schottky. One person was invented in 1955, and then transistors were introduced. Before, everything was based on bulbs. Yeah, we remember the first computer. The first computers, they were just very large and probably needed, let's say, a cooling system which was quite sophisticated. This room would have probably, let's say, a computer which is nowadays, or has a processing power even much more less than you have on your watch. But that filled this room, and everything was based on bulbs and bulb technology. And then transistor came, everything got already more integrated, and that was the starting of Simatic controller and all the other, let's say, nice inventions. Why do I show this? Because if you go here, nowadays analytics, or how it's called, MindSphere now, that is, let's say, the latest in the direction of digitalization in industries. That means digitalization from Siemens for the industries, and also for use within Siemens. Why I also show the slide, I mean, nowadays Siemens has something like 300,000 employees, at least. I mean, it's always changing because every month we are buying something or selling something. You know, probably 320 might be the right number. Is that right? 320,000 we have employees at the moment, but let's say in 1847 that was a startup company. So you cannot talk about Siemens like a startup company, but that was a very successful startup company. And Werner von Siemens, the founder, was the entrepreneur. He had the ideas, he was the inventor, but he also had the understanding